Hey guys and gals, thank you for joining us for midweek worship at Cities Church. My name is Jeff, and we created this broadcast just for you. In fact, if you need to know more about our church, we'd love for you to understand why we started doing this almost 2 years ago. Look below me, you'll see some notes. And in these notes, you'll see a link to a video. You can watch that later, and it will tell you a little bit about our church and why we started doing a middle of the week broadcast that we call midweek broadcast or midweek worship. Midweek worship for us is singing a song and studying the scriptures. Actually, we're going to ask you tonight to memorize the scriptures, and then we talk about a topic that really I want you to discuss as a family if you've got your children around. If you don't have children, you're by yourself, I want you to think about this, and I hope that it will leave a lasting impact on you. That's why we call this midweek worship. In the past several weeks, we've been talking about humankind, who we are, and how we're different from everything else in creation. The big theological concept that we have said over and over again for almost 2 months now is that humans were created in the image of God. See the air quotes? That God put His image into humans, and unlike anything else that He made way back in the Garden of Eden, humans have God's image, which means we bear His character and His likeness, and we're supposed to reflect who He is to other humans, but also to the created world around us. Today, I'm going to talk about a very controversial subject. It shouldn't be controversial, but it is, unfortunately. Today, we're going to talk about the doctrine of humanity and specifically about human sexuality. And I mean by this, gender differences. Now, mom and dad, if you have young kids, I'm not going to get graphic, so you don't have to worry about whether or not their ears are going to hear something that you're going to have to be embarrassed and have to explain later. I'm just going to describe very briefly some of the reasons why human beings are different. If you were with us 2 weeks ago, we described how God made everything perfect. He put His perfect nature and character into the creation, and He called it good. When God made humankind, He made them very good. This thing was special. And then just a couple of verses later in the Bible, God looks down and sees this lonely creature called Adam, man, and He says it's not good. It's not good for a human to be alone. Humans need to be in relationship with other humans. So God does something extraordinary. God causes Adam to fall into a deep sleep. I want you to think about it in medical terms like anesthesia. God put Adam under so that God could do surgery. And by this, I mean literally do surgery on Adam and take part of Adam's body, close up the part that He took the rib from Adam, and take that existing material and make it into a different human. Still human, 100% human, but very different than the man. He creates Eve. And when Adam sees Eve, Adam makes a pronunciation about this creature Eve that God just created. I'm going to put the verse on the scripture or on the screens. I'd love for you to say out loud where this is found in the Bible. I'd like for you to read with me this verse out loud, and then I'd like for you to say one more time where this is found in the Bible. But I'm going to ask you to do more than just say it or recognize where you can find it in the Bible. I'm going to ask you to memorize it, and then we're going to talk about it. So here it is, Genesis 2:23. At last, the man exclaimed, this one is bone from my bone and flesh from my flesh. She will be called woman because she was taken from man. Genesis 2:23. What the Bible is describing here is how similar but different Adam and Eve are. Adam even recognizes Eve is not like the giraffes. She doesn't have a really long neck. Eve is not like the elephants. She doesn't have a really long nose. Eve is not like the birds in the air. She doesn't have wings. Eve is not like the creatures that crawl on the ground or the fish that swim in the seas. She doesn't have fins. Eve is like me. She's like me, but she's different. And y'all, I'm just going to be really honest, but it's sad that we now live in a world where the differences between men and women are being so blurred by people that have gender identity problems that they don't see any difference between men and women, that they just kind of see us as all one general gender. That's hard to say. In fact, there are unfortunately more people today than perhaps ever in history who are deciding, I don't like the gender that I was born with. I want to be a different gender. And say that, so they go through some kind of gender change process to try to appear to the world as the other gender. Women born of created by God to be women who are now trying to appear as a man, or men created by God who are trying to appear as a woman. I'm not going to get into all of the sexual ethics of that. That's not the purpose for this broadcast. I want you to understand something much bigger, much more profound. Not that sexual ethics is not important. What I need you to understand is that when God created man and woman, He didn't make one more important than the other. He also didn't make them exactly the same. And it's very, very important that you understand that Eve was created by God to complement Adam. Theologically speaking, I will just tell you where I stand on this issue. I am a complementarian. I believe that Eve has all of the image of God in her that Adam does. I believe that she is just as much a child of God as Adam is. I believe that she is every bit as important to God as Adam is, but I also believe that she's different than Adam, that she is supposed to complement Adam, not compete with him, not replace him. And if you were to watch the movies that are being made today, if you were to listen to the news reports, even some of the songs that you hear on the radio are starting to sound like they're trying to teach you that one gender is better than the other. That's wrong. Or that one gender can replace the other, or that you don't need the other gender. Those things are wrong. You see, you're different if God made you a woman than a man is. If God created you as a man, you're different. I recognize there are some people that were born with both genders' sex organs, and that's a very rare but very real birth phenomenon. And if that's you, I am not saying that there's anything wrong in your soul or that you are a bad person because you were created that way. I'm talking about people that were clearly born one gender, but they don't like it. They're trying to become another gender. Listen, the reason why this is important is because it helps us understand who we are and who God is. And I need us to spend a few more minutes on this. But before we do that, I want to take a break for just a second. And I want us to sing a song of praise to this God that is so incredible that He is able to create two different genders in the same species and make them both equally represent Him, equally display His image to the world around them. So I want you to sing along. In fact, I want you to turn the volume up, and I want you to sing along with the words that are on the screen as Pete and Alicia lead us to praise this Creator God that we serve. Sing along, will you?
Hey guys, it's so good to be with you today. We want to do this song that speaks about prayer and the significant role it plays in our life, and especially in family, carrying over from generation to generation to generation. Grandma used to pray out loud by her bed every night. To me it sounded like mumbling, like she was out of her mind. She said, boy, this kind of praying is what saved my life. You ought to try it sometime. And now I know she was right, 'cause she was talking to Jesus. She was talking to Jesus. She'd been talking to Jesus for all of her life. Mama used to drag me to church Sunday mornings and Wednesday nights. Khaki pants and a polo shirt. Boy, I put up a fight. She said, son, one day you'll thank me for having God in your life. And yeah, I know she was right. Yeah, my mama was right, 'cause now I'm talking to Jesus. She got me talking to Jesus. Got me talking to Jesus. Yeah, my mama was right, 'cause now I'm talking to Jesus. Yeah, I love talking to Jesus. And I'll be talking to Jesus for the rest of my life. What a friend we have in Jesus. What a friend we have in Jesus. What a friend we have in Jesus. Whoa. What a friend we have in Jesus. What a friend we have in Jesus. What a friend we have in Jesus. Whoa. I got 3 of my own now, trying to raise them up right. My oldest is 15. I remember what that was like. Trying to deal with the drama, try to figure out the questions in life. And I've been looking for a way to show him how to make it all right. And then he walked in my room while I was saying my prayers the other night. He said, I'll come back later. I can tell you got a lot on your mind. I said, it's not an interruption. You couldn't have picked a better time. 'Cause I was talking to Jesus. Come over and give it a try. We started talking to Jesus. We started talking to Jesus. We started talking to Jesus. Whoa. Now he's talking to Jesus. Thank God he's talking to Jesus. I hope he's talking to Jesus for the rest of his life. What a friend we have in Jesus. What a friend we have in Jesus. What a friend we have in Jesus. Whoa. What a friend we have in Jesus. What a friend we have in Jesus. What a friend we have in Jesus. Whoa. There's no wrong way to do it. There's no bad time to start. You don't have to sound pretty. Just tell him what's on your heart. 'Cause it's not a religion. It's more like a friendship. So just talk to your Father like you are his kid. Just start talking to Jesus. Just start talking to Jesus. 'Cause you can talk to Jesus whenever you like. Just start talking to Jesus. Just start talking to Jesus. Just keep talking to Jesus for the rest of your life. What a friend we have in Jesus. What a friend we have in Jesus. in Jesus. What a friend we have in Jesus. What a friend we have in Jesus. Whoa. What a friend we have in Jesus. What a friend we have in Jesus. What a friend we have in Jesus. Whoa.
Now that that song is over with, I want you to think with me about the differences between Adam and Eve. When Adam saw Eve, there was no question in his mind, this creature is like me. She's another human being, but she's not exactly like me. She is different than me. She is both human and different at the same time. And Eve would say, that guy, Adam, he's like me in that he is a human, a child of God, and bears the image of God, but he's different than me. And I want you to think honestly about the differences between the two genders, between the male gender and the female gender. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to answer a question. I'm going to put it on the screens for you. Would you take a moment and answer this question? Parents, if you have children, mom, would you think honestly and answer to your sons and daughters this question? Dads, will you think honestly and answer to your daughters and sons this question, because it may have a profound impact in the world that we live in today on how they view themselves and how they view the other gender when they leave your home and they go out on their own. Here's the question that I want you to spend a couple of minutes answering when this broadcast ends. Describe the best ways that men and women are different. Listen, if you watch the movies and if you listen to the music, they'll criticize 10,000 ways where the other gender is bad or worse than you. But there are some wonderful areas where a man is just simply different than a woman, and a woman is different than a man. And I'm going to say it one more time, and then we're going to end with this. I am a complementarian, and I believe that Adam and Eve are equal in the eyes of God in bearing His image. I believe that they're equal in the eyes of God as sons and daughters. I believe that they're equal in value and worth in the eyes of God, but they're not the same. Equal, but different. That's this beautiful creation that God made when He made Adam and Eve and said, let us make them in our own image. Thanks for joining me for this episode. I hope you have a great week. See you next time. God bless.